Hi, welcome back.
I don't even know where we're ready to go. It's normally the other way around.
Hi, I'm Jodie.
And I'm Ashley.
And I'm Edie. I'm Matt.
And this is Max,
our dog.
And we are
the
Bowluna Adventures!
That's actually right.
We are documenting our challenges and triumphs as we convert this Mercedes Sprinter into a comfortable family campervan.
Once completed, we'll travel in it long term whilst world schooling our children, stepping out of our comfort zone and embracing a new adventure. Please subscribe to follow our journey. Welcome back.
So this week's video is going to be mainly about the rust proofing. We found bits and bobs of rust, little patches here and there. The main bit was on the rear wheel arch, which we touched on last week in last week's video.
That, isn't it? Rear wheel arch.
Rear wheel arch. Yeah. So it was pretty bad from there, from some accident damage that had obviously been there previously, but we managed to sort it out really well. The worst place is around the wheel arch below, where there's that battle scar line across the top, or that repair. So it looks like there might have been some water ingress at some point, which has affected the rear wheel arch. So we got some bits and bobs to sort it out. I got some hammer coat, which is like hammerite, just some white rust proof paint. So hopefully once we've done, it'll look a little bit more like this one here and be protected. Yeah, the hammerite crust, rust treatment, is interesting. It starts off this creamy sort of colour, and then when it gets on the actual rust, it turns into this really kind of deep purpley blue colour. So the reaction's obvious when it hits the rust, and you know what you're doing with it. That's pretty good, I think. Treatment for the rust around the wheel arch seems to have gone pretty well. What I did was cleaned it all down with some alcohol solution, then hit it with this hammerite crust. Then I'm going to put some red oxide metal paint on it, then some hammer coat, which is like hammerite, and then if I feel I need to, I've actually got some Mercedes Arctic White spray paint made up as well, so it can make it look you know, it's pretty much as good as new. So yeah, the crust seems to have done pretty well. It's gone kind of a weird purpley blue colour, but it's actually set, giving it like a plastic coating, which is good. So it sealed the rust in, so that's all good. So yeah, I've got some work to be getting on with today. Okay, so that's a coat of red oxide primer on all the areas that were exposed or had a bit of rust on them. The weapons of choice for tackling this were the soft sanding pad. So this is great for getting into all the little nooks and crannies where you wouldn't normally get in with sandpaper very easily. So that was good. And then smaller wire brush for just the smaller areas, mainly around where we took the ply lining down and the screws that had gone into the metalwork. We used that to clean those up. Bigger areas, we used a bigger wire brush. And then for one place in particular, we used this wire brush attachment on a cordless drill, and that was mainly to go around this rear wheel arch, because it was pretty deep and pretty bad around there, but the rest of it was not too bad at all. The little wire brushes and the sanding pad did that. The sanding pad was good for big areas like this, so just to give it a key so the paint stuck quite nicely. But yeah, that's it done. So we've done a few areas just to make sure anywhere that had exposed metal or little bits of rust, which like I say was mainly these areas here, where the ply lining was taken down and the little holes that were left by that. So yeah, we're looking all primed up and ready to go to the next stage, which will be perhaps putting some white hammerite, and yeah, that'll just give it just that extra bit of protection that will be brilliant, because if there's one thing that these sprinters are renowned for, it's rusting, and so we don't want it to rust from the inside out with all the vapour and things like that. We'll have a vapour barrier in here, but yeah, we don't want too much moisture being held in between that and the shell of the van causing problems. So hopefully this will sort it out nicely. All right. So the more protection we can give it right from now, because we really want this to be a long-term prospect as well, you know, we want the van to last a long time. So
yeah, until the kids kind of are too embarrassed to go away with us anymore.
Next year.
I was going to say,
so as long as it lasts us a year without rusting to pieces, I think we'll be good to go. Yeah,
good to go.
But one of the things that I really wanted to do was paint the floor as well,
because everyone's going to see the painted floor.
Well, the thing is, I actually noticed, I put a little I did a little video of it, so I'll show that now. But basically the inner part of the floor isn't painted, the rest of the walls and the outer is. Yeah. So it just looked like primer, so I've got a feeling that's why they rust a fair bit, or I've seen them rusting a fair bit in the centre of the floor and in the low dips of the floor as well, where moisture obviously gathers lower down. So anyway, so painted the whole floor. This has still got quite a gloss shine to it here, but in the centre there's no lacquer on the top at all. It's almost like primer, and that seems to be where most of the rust is, in these deeper channels. So I think to err on the side of precaution, when I get the hammer coat out, the hammerite, the white paint, rust-proof paint, I'm going to do the whole floor of the van, just to be belt and braces. Well, God knows what that'll look like in the morning. It was pitch black by the time I finished. It's just one of them jobs that I really wanted to get done, and I can't do it until the end of the day, because obviously then the floor will be wet and I can't walk on it all day. So I moved everything to the front half of the van, and I've done the back half of it, hammerited the floor, and so yeah, we'll see what it looks like in the morning, because I finished it in complete darkness. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what that looks like. And tomorrow night, after I've finished in the van, I'll shift everything to the back as long as it's dry, and then do the front. So yeah, fingers crossed it'll all be dry. Right, the van's all back to white. Went over it with the white hammerite, and so went over all of the rust-proof red oxide primer, apart from this bit on the floor that I'm going to do now. So I'm going to crack on with that, and then that's all the hammeriting done, hopefully. And the van is rust-proofed from the inside, so that would be really good. Okay.
Rear arch.
First video we ever put out, I did that the day before we did that video, so the van absolutely stunk of hammerite.
Has a laughing gas effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing that.
Please check out that video for a few laughs. That was a good one. I'll put a link to it here actually, so you can just have a look at that if you want to. Yeah. It's just an introduction really to who we are. But yeah, the rust proofing on the inside of the van is all done now, so we've got all that completed. Yeah. So anyway, let's wrap this one up, and we'll catch you again next week. We'll be doing the reversing camera install. So,
can you see behind you when you're reversing?
Absolutely, yes.
There we go. Yeah. Job done.
Happy days. Cool. So we'll catch you again
next week for that video.
Bye. Catch you later. Bye.